All right, guys, here is part two of our Flagstaff kind of neighborhood tour overview. We were just talking about Coconino Estates right here. It's highly sought after, again, with its close proximity to downtown Flagstaff here. Makes it a highly sought after community. Not only that, it's super easy. I zoom out here. Located right here on Fort Valley Road, you can get up here to Snowball Road super fast. So only about a 15-minute drive from there to actual Snowball. So be up skiing pretty fast. So let's kind of take a look up here on 180 and check out some of these other subdivisions. If you're looking for some high-end luxury living here in Flagstaff, this area is called Lockett Ranches, excuse me. It's you've got lots in there, varying sizes. You can go anywhere from 1 acre all the way. Some parcels are 5-10 acres. It's like a wildlife petting zoo up there. You've got tons of deer and elk that inhabit the area year round, and some of the most beautiful homes Flagstaff has to offer can be found in that neighborhood. Incredible views, trees, everything. It's got it all. Not gated, small HOA. So if it's something you're looking for, you're looking for something a little more higher end, little luxury with some space, this would be a neighborhood that should be definitely at the top of your list right here, and that's Lockett Ranches, excuse me. Then we keep going, heading north on Fort Valley. We'll show you some of these other neighborhoods that you might want to take a look at. Another really popular one right here is called Cheshire. And that is this neighborhood I'm outlining, you can see right here. So Cheshire was built in the 70s, 80s. A lot of single-story, 1,500, 2,000 square foot homes in there. It has some of the most incredible views of the San Francisco peaks. If I can zoom out, you can kind of see the mountain is right here. So it sits kind of at the base. You've got some fantastic views. And again, the proximity to downtown. You're right, halfway between downtown and Snowball, 10 minute, it's about a 10-minute drive to downtown, and then you've got, you're right that you can hop on Fort Valley Road and be up at Snowball in absolutely no time. There is a school. Oops, you don't want that. We'll zoom back in here. Of course, the Museum of Northern Arizona is close by. You do have the Flagstaff Arts and Leadership Academy, which I believe although it goes from, it's high school. I think they even have middle school there. I'd have to double check. They've changed it. The schools change constantly with their grade levels and what students are allowing in. But that's in the neighborhood. Another thing on Cheshire here, if you starts right here at Bolt. So when I go here and I actually circle this area, Jesse Gregg Park, all the way down to here, to Kramer. That area is called Linwood. So that's another, it shifts down here. So Cheshire, you're going to have the smaller homes built 70s, 80s. The prices ranging anywhere from 500 to 800,000. They've gone up considerably over the years. But you get back on the other side over here and into Lockett Ranches, into Linwood, a lot of L's. You're going to find some more high-end luxury living, large lots, half acre up to 1.5 acres. Homes will be 2,000, 2,500 square foot to 5,000 square feet, all custom, modern mountain living in that area. Really nice neighborhood, tucked in the trees. There's actually a nice little hill here, so it kind of sits at the base of it. Really nice private neighborhood. Then across the street, we kind of get going out more towards Snowball. You've got Creighton Estates right here. There's a lot of horse property in this area. Again, nice custom homes, large houses, 2,500 to 4,000 square feet. Same as Linwood. Your price point's going to be, $1 million and up in that area. So let's take a look. We come down Fort Valley Road here. We've got Forest Service on both sides. This area is called Baderville. I'll do a neighborhood tour of it and go a little more in depth and talk about Mr. Bader and the history of it. We actually sold a house last year. It was like the second or third one that was built in the area back in the 50s. It's pretty cool. They had a bunch of old pictures of it before there was any houses except Mr. Bader's house. But there's lots of different houses out here. You've got some older ones, but most of the ones that are being built are, you've got some newer built homes. You've got a lot of high end luxury homes. Most everything out here is going to be 750 plus that you're going to see. This is a big, where you see right here is a big wide open field. And it's got great views of course, great views of the peaks. They're sitting right at the base of it. One thing you got to consider in this area is there's a floodplain that runs right through it. So there's been a lot of people that inquire about, I see some really cheap land for sale out here. Well, it's because it's in the floodplain, and when you have a lot in the floodplain, a 1 or 2 acre parcel, which is what you're going to find out here, anywhere from 1 to 2.5 acres. There's no sewer. There's no sewer out there. It's all on. They're all septic systems. So when you have a floodplain and you have to install a septic system on a lot that has a floodplain, what you have to do is a lock and vault system. Basically, you have to bury a 20,000 gallon tank, and you have to get it pumped every so often. And you can't let anything leach into the ground. So it's super costly, and for most people, it's just not effective. So that's why you see a lot of those lots out there for lower price or cheap. So be aware of that. But there's some, if you're looking for some great mountain living, this is a great area to consider. One thing, anywhere that you're living off of 180 here, Fort Valley Road, whether you're in Baderville or any of these other subdivisions that we kind of talked about here, is the traffic can get pretty backed up here in the wintertime. So it's something you want to consider. They've done a lot of good stuff. We get a lot of ski traffic. Where you really see a bottleneck is right in here on Humphreys, where I'm recording this, where our office is at. But this will get backed up right here, but they've made double lanes so people can actually get out and get back down to Phoenix. We get a lot of people from Phoenix driving up. So just one of those little extra things. You know, if you're up here in the summer, you don't see it as much, but Saturday and Sunday during ski season, sometimes you got to plan your trips. If you're heading in the grocery store, it might take you an extra 20, 30 minutes. So we've kind of went to the northwest part of Flagstaff. We've already talked the center and the east side. Let's kind of go down by campus and take a look down here at some of the other stuff. Reardon Mansion, located right next to NAU in the heart of Flagstaff, really. So here's old Route 66. Again, here's the south side neighborhood downtown. We've got NAU right here. NAU's a large campus, takes up a lot of real estate here in Flagstaff. So we've got a lot of great subdivisions that are around here. So here you got south side again, downtown, stuff that's close there. Let's roll over here. Talk about a couple other subdivisions off of old Route 66 right here. You've got Railroad Springs right here. So this would be manufactured style housing. They sit on foundations. There's several hundred homes in there. You're going to actually be able to find stuff that's in the high 300s to low 400s in there. Great first-time home buyer area. Manufactured homes, single garages, all city utilities. That's where a lot of folks, when they move to Flagstaff, really get started out. And then you've got West Village Estates right here, which is similar to Railroad Springs, manufactured home subdivision. The only difference is this is more in some pine trees. This is elevated. A little break about right here. This is up on a hill that's got some trees, and this is more down in wide open plains. You don't have as many Ponderosa pine trees down in this area. A little new subdivision that was built off of it is this one right here. It's called Crestview. It was built just recently, and they have really nice multifamily units in there where there's some that when they built it, you had the option to put a guest house on the back. So a lot of people did. It does allow for short-term rentals. There's a small HOA fee in there. It's a really one of Flagstaff. I kind of call it like it's a little secret neighborhood. It's something you should really look at if you're looking for something that's a newer build. Houses in there go from $650 up to $1 million, ranging anywhere from 1,500 square feet all the way up over 3,000. And some, like I said, have the dual living situation for multi-generational families. And one thing you probably see here, the railroad tracks that go back here, hence the name. This is Railroad Springs, right? But Crestview right here, when they built these houses, They actually spray foam insulated them inside and out everywhere, so they're super. You can't hear. I took several clients and sold a few units in there, and you could not even hear the train noise. With the windows and the doors closed, you couldn't hear anything. They're ultra quiet, ultra energy efficient homes in there. So let's scroll down here. Kind of focus on a few other neighborhoods. This area right here, here's the kind of the line. It's called Boulder Point. So this is another really nice, highly sought after neighborhood that was developed in the 90s and early 2000s. You've got good sized quarter-acre lots, large wide streets. I think it was the last subdivision that really was built with wide streets before they started shrinking them down. A lot of pride of ownership. You're going to see homes in there anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 square feet. Price point starting at $650 all the way upwards towards $1 million. So highly sought after. You can see the proximity to NAU, Route 66. You got a lot, Target, shopping, Home Depot's right here on the corner. So it's close to everything. And then you go over here. This is a newer subdivision called Presidio in the Pines. So a lot of newer homes in there. One thing you're going to find about Presidio is it's great for someone who's looking for a low maintenance yard, lock and leave. Maybe a second home. Somebody wants to just get up out of the cool weather or out of the hot weather, and sit in the cool weather, have a small fenced yard for the dog, and not have to worry about maintaining a lot. You'll find a lot of different style of homes in there, starting at 500,000 all the way upwards towards 800 square footage wise. Almost every home in there is going to be 2 stories. It's a high density community. Houses are stacked close to each other. A lot of different variety as you go through there. They did it in several different phases over time. It was supposed to be really big back in 2005, 6, and 7, and when they first started this first part. And of course, 2008 housing bubble. A lot of it. There's a lot of empty houses that sit in there. It took a while to get restarted, but it's flourishing now, and it's just finally completed. So if we go across here now, where Flagstaff's latest, greatest new construction developments are, and that's going to be right here. This area is called Timber Sky. So you've got a lot of great homes in there, and you've also got some multi-generational family homes in there as well. Just like Crestview, same builders, super energy efficient, completely different floor plans and designs. Now, there's going to be several new phases that are coming up soon here in the next year. There's actually four phases. So definitely reach out if that's something you're into a new build. We'll get you on the list. It certainly is taking some time, but definitely worth checking out. You got homes in there. They're going to start at $750 and go upwards over $1 million for those new build constructions. So as we're heading south here, kind of continues. We're actually go back closer into town, and then we'll work our way farther west to some of these other subdivisions. So a couple of really big popular subdivisions. Let's start here. This one is another highly sought after. That's called University Heights. It's been around, started built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. There is no HOA in here. You've got large lots, large streets. You've actually got an elementary school. Scroll down here and show you. Actually, what's right here, D. Miguel. It's one of the newer elementary schools. I think it was the last, I'd say, new one that was built since I've lived here, although they did just rebuild Killip Elementary. But you do have an elementary school in the neighborhood. There's about 1,000 homes in there. Got a variety. There's not a lot of tract housing in there. You're going to find a lot of custom-built homes, so everything looks a little different. Really highly sought after. You can see the location of it. Right off 17, close to NAU campus. Downtown's 10 minutes away. Got a lot of trails back in here that you can take out to Fort Tuthill and do some recreating and trail running, bike riding, things like that. Really great subdivision. Then you come over here, Ponderosa Trails, Pondy, very popular subdivision. There's over 1,000 homes in it. It was built in the late 90s all the way up until the late 2000 teens. And you've got a variety of homes in there. It's a lot of track home subdivision in there. But you do have some nice homes that are built in there. You've got some keepsake homes and some custom builds. I actually built a house in there myself in 2004. So it's a really nice neighborhood, great family oriented, and like the name says, Ponderosa Trails. There's trails throughout the neighborhood. There's a park, as you can see right here. You can see some of the trail system in there. So it's a really great subdivision. There's a couple other smaller ones here. You've got Aspen Trails, another. It's about, I want to say, about 100, 150 homes here. And then you've got Foxwood, which is right. This is Foxwood right here. There's approximately, the same as here, maybe a little bit less, maybe 75, 80 homes there. And you've got Bennett Estates. So off of this is Lake Mary. This is all off of Lake Mary Road, which is nice because you can see how close it is to NAU. The airport's there. You can drive down. It's about a 10, 15-minute drive. You've got Lower Lake Mary and Upper Lake Mary right here if you want to recreate. And, of course, tons of trails. And the Forest Service is right behind here. There's a lot of trails back in behind Ponderosa Trails. If you come down here, there's trails galore all over the place. So kind of go south and show you a little bit of what Kachina and Mountain Air. So another couple popular subdivisions over here. Kachina Village, Mountain Air, both have a lot of cabins and woods feeling out there. This Kachina tends to have more canyons. You'll find a variety of homes from high-end luxury all the way to single-wide trailers. It's kind of I call it a hodgepodge area. It's neat, it's unique. Great area for a second home. Great area for a vacation Airbnb property. No HOA. Homes range anywhere in there from $350,000 all the way up to $1 million. Only, I'd say the average, you're probably going to be around $500,000 or $600,000. Same over here in Mountain Air. You got basically very similar vibe as the Kachina. So definitely worth checking out if you want that cabiny woods feeling. There's not a lot out here. There's a little store, Mountain Air Tavern pizza joint right there. And there's also a little Shell gas station right here. And then we kind of look at some of the high-end luxury golf courses now, and we'll kind of end this thing. So you've got, this is Forest Highlands right here. So if you're into golfing, this is a 36-hole championship course. It's the oldest gated community in the Flagstaff area. My father's construction, he's been doing construction in there for 40 years. It's a great, ultra luxury, high-end neighborhood. Lots of great Ponderosa pine trees. It's absolutely beautiful. Custom homes galore. If you're into golf and you want a mountain escape and you're looking for a gated community, you definitely have Forest Highlands at the top of your list. Take a look. If we kind of scroll up a little bit more, we'll roll over here to Pine Canyon. So again, here's Ponderosa Trails. Here's Pine Canyon. That's another. So that's an 18-hole championship golf course. Was built in the early 2000s. Did a lot of work out there myself. Absolutely gorgeous homes everywhere. It's in the city limits. It's gated. One thing about Pine Canyon that's really great is you don't have to buy a membership to live in there. So if maybe you're not into golf, but you love the view of the property, you don't have to pay the tens of thousands of dollars to be a member there and all the heavy monthly fees. The HOA fees, they've just raised it. I believe it's $700 a quarter, which gets you the guard gate and snow maintenance because it's private in there. For when they plow it in the wintertime, they actually have a company they hire to do it. So it's not too expensive to live out there. And of course, our third one, let's scroll over here with Flag Ranch. So this one is another gated, this is an 18-hole private golf course community. Another nice one. Every single one of them has nice. They have all got different, every one of them is great, has different things to offer. Really, when you're considering it, you just need to come tour all three, and then you need to compare the prices of all three and see which one's going to be a better fit for you. Depends on really how much you golf too, especially. So you want to check out the channel. Definitely there's tons of videos that will cover the Flag Ranch, Pine Canyon, Forest Highlands, the fees, and some tours of the neighborhoods can give you a feel of it. And then that kind of gives you a good tour of town and where things are at. As you go west here, we'll go west to go to the last subdivision before we get out into too far out of town. But you've got Belmont right here, so they're building new home construction out here, which you can still get in. The Belmont's kind of been a little more affordable, where you can buy a 2,000 square foot house for $500,000 to $600,000. And they're still building new subdivisions, new homes in here, so there's still availability to get in here. They're starting some new ones over here too. So Belmont, if you're a family that's moving here, and you can live with the drive, that's a little bit, an extra 10, 15 minutes, and you want to buy a nice new house that's 2,000, 2,500 square feet, Belmont might be a good fit for you. Something you might want to consider. It is a little bit of a drive, but it's not too bad. And what's nice is, you've got the Forest Service right out your back door, so you can take this Forest Service road and boom, you're right out in the forest. So I kind of hope this gave you a good overview of some of the neighborhoods. I went over a lot of stuff, and it was a 2-part series. Definitely check out the neighborhood tours. Leave some comments below if you have more questions, and definitely let me know what other neighborhoods you'd like me to go more in depth on. Love any feedback you guys could give me, and I hope this really helps you out.